...2024. Man, that has been a year. Definitely not one of the best. That's all I can say. Now, I don't know about y'all, but 2024 felt like such a slow year. I have no idea how to explain it, but it just did. Specifically for me. I haven't been really around that much this year, and it kind of sucks. I've been going through actually quite a lot, now that I think about it. But this video isn't about me. It's about this year, of course. Now, every year, I talk about politics once in these videos, and this year is no exception. Too many political things happened this year, mostly due to the election, global conflicts, and different countries with different opinions against one another. A major example of this being the Israel and Gaza conflict, which has been the cause of over 45,000 deaths since the attacks in 2023. Another major example of this being, of course, Ukraine and Russia, with North Korea sending a number of troops to Ukraine in aid of Russia, being the first time in history North Korea has deployed troops to a foreign country since the Korean War. But funnily enough, the North Korean soldiers quickly figured out what porn is. And well, let's just say that they found out what busty means, considering that they've seen only skeletons for women. But not only that, we also had South Korea's martial law thing that happened overnight. We had Joe Biden, of course. And of course, the election sparking up plenty of controversy, but I'm not even going to touch that. Specifically, not going to touch an ear. And occasionally a lot of boring political news that I hate going into. So let's start digging into the list like every year, shall we? In September of this year, a Lunchables competitor made by Mr. Beast, KSI, and Logan Paul was introduced to stores everywhere, and it of course attracted a lot of attention on the internet. Many people were reviewing it, eating it, and sometimes actually letting their kids bring it to school for lunch. But the main issue with this competitor is that it's not necessarily healthier than Lunchables. Only like a few calories off and quote-unquote extra electrolytes, but that's it. It did promote that it had no preservatives, unlike Lunchables. But the preservatives are there to preserve the meal. So without the preservatives, the food is likely to rot, or in this case, mold. This wasn't the only controversy that Lunchly had, as KSI started having a one-sided rivalry against none other than Dan TDM, in which Dan TDM just ignored KSI. Which is the funniest thing that happened in this controversy. Despite all the controversy, Lunchly is still being sold in certain locations out there. And trust me, I've tried it. It's not worth the hype, no matter what all the kids are saying.
That's delicioso right there, that's Riz approved.
In an amazing turn of events, the internet was fooled and shocked after Nikocado Avocado revealed that he had lost significant weight over the past few years. He did this by faking years worth of mukbang videos and losing weight at the same time. The reveal itself was shocking because many people couldn't believe that in over 2 years, he managed to lose over 250 pounds and fool us at the same time. Not only that, but his Nikocado persona was also fake, meaning that the constant was all a show. Now that's what happens when you make someone a villain. But overall, great job Nikocado. You pulled out the biggest Uno reverse card this year. It's not too uncommon for childhood YouTubers to step out of the light that they were in, as they themselves are growing up along with their audiences. But this year, we watched as an amazing YouTuber quit unexpectedly. this YouTuber being none other than MatPat. MatPat was obviously well known for Game Theory, an educational show that proved that real video games can be educational. This show was beloved by millions and is a part of internet culture itself. And not only was MatPat known for his show, but also for his many cameos in skits, music, movies, etc. So I'm pretty sure that many of us can say, thanks MatPat for being a part of all of our childhoods. And happy retirement. Like every year, there's always some sort of anniversary to something. 10 years ago, Titanfall, Dark Souls 2, Five Nights at Freddy's, Hearthstone, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Watch Dogs, Sims 4, and South Park Stick of Truth all came out. Along with Whiplash, John Wick, Guardians of the Galaxy, and plenty other movies as well. Ebola caused a stir around the world. A flight called Malaysia 370 mysteriously disappeared into thin air, becoming a huge mystery to this day. 20 years ago, Facebook launched, the Nintendo DS came out, as well as the PSP, the Mars rover roved around, the Indian Ocean tsunami hit many countries that bordered the Indian Ocean, causing major damage to many coastal cities involved. A bunch of Islamic terrorists began a siege at a school in Beslan, Russia, resulting in over 334 deaths. It is considered the worst school shooting in history. 50 years ago, the Rubik's Cube was invented, President Richard Nixon resigned after the Watergate scandal, and Muhammad Ali and George Foreman had their Rumble in the Jungle boxing match. 80 years ago, many famous battles in World War II occurred, such as the D-Day landings, the Battle of the Bulge, the liberation of France, and many, many more. The Germans made the V-2 rocket, the GI Bill was made, which helped many US veterans with education and housing. And overall, a lot of America happened that year. 100 years ago, Vladimir Lenin, the leader of the Communist Revolution in Russia, died, leaving the brutal dictator Joseph Stalin to take over. The first Winter Olympics happened in France, the Macy's Day Parade tradition started, and the first round-the-world flight was completed. Of course, every year has a different and new meme of today. Yes, brain rot memes. Ha ha ha, so skibbity, I guess. But seriously, the Hawk Tuah girl is milking the shit out of her fame, like Jesus. But yeah, brain rot shit, that's done and over. Let's talk about actual memes. For the memes that are actually worth talking about this year, we have Just a Chill Guy, a Symphony Dolphin, a very small Mudang Hippo, the question English or Spanish froze people, the Minecraft movie trailer dropped this.
Who are you?
I am Steve.
Pesto the Penguin. That's it. Everyone trashed on KSI's song Thick of It.
Quit the music! Quit the yes! I'm sick of hearing that god soul!
Verbalace paid $50,000 for a soft porn animated video of Charlie from Hazbin Hotel and him. Brazilian Miko was Brazilian. The Pope got a mascot that's anime material. LeBron James claims that you are his sunshine. Diddy was a terrifying meme, Jesus. A jumper jumped on a judge. A horrifying employee from Chick-fil-A. The Willy Wonka experience wasn't an experience at all. They keep telling me to wait. They don't love me like I love you. I'm not calling you a good boy. Olympic Turkish shooter was popular. Tumad's death was actually celebrated. TikTok had a Riz party, I think. Cops mistook an acorn as a gunshot. Gnomes had a war against public workplaces. The Dune bucket was... ugh. And many, many more memes. On March 27th, 2024, the internet crybaby and manchild, Jake Paul, decided to challenge the former heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson, to a boxing match. Originally, the fight was set for July 20th, but was delayed due to Mike being hospitalized because he is 58 years old. Basically, Jake Paul was fighting a grandpa, and by the looks of the training videos, the grandpa seemed fast for 58 years old. But then the fight was delayed to November 15th. And even though most of the fight was against buffering, Mike and Jake went through a not so huge throwdown. Mike was pretty slow when he fought Jake, and seemed to be taking all the hits from Jake. Overall, Jake was disrespecting a legend, and it didn't look good at all when he won. Everyone was so disappointed with the results that they started a conspiracy that the fight was staged, and Netflix was even sued for the buffering. But either way, the whole fight was a lose-lose situation for Jake Paul. Sure, he won against Mike Tyson, but Iron Russ. So the true winner was Mike, in my opinion. Mike is a legend and will always be a legend. Love you, Mike. On December 5th, the United Healthcare CEO was shot and killed in New York in front of a hotel. This shocked the nation, until it was revealed that the CEO was killed because their health insurance system was shit. Thus, people actually started praising the shooter and even making sick fan art of him. Overall, this assassination was more interesting because the public were in support of the assassin. Eventually, the assassin was captured at a McDonald's and is still being idolized by the public. I mean, look at all these comparisons and look how many officers surround him. It's like they caught the Joker. But what makes this case even more bizarre is that they are charging him with terrorism. There's a lot of things to uncover about this case, but I'm not going to talk about it because it'll probably get political very quickly. And even though it's not technically political, people are going to treat it like it's political. So let's not step foot into there, alright? On March 22nd, Drake and Kendrick had a huge feud with each other that ultimately resulted in Drake getting thrown the fuck down. It all started when Drake and J. Cole started bragging about how they're the best rappers in the top 3. And Kendrick saw this and told them to sit the fuck down. J. Cole humbly backed down, but Drake didn't. And Kendrick did not go lightly on him. Kendrick made several diss tracks against Drake, and Jesus! Kendrick was throwing down fire! Even Kendrick's fans thought it was a bit too much. Kendrick's diss tracks literally destroyed Drake with its huge symbolism with the songs, basically putting Drake in his place. I don't have much to say about this whole debacle because of copyright mostly, but it was such a big thing, and as much as I want to talk about it, I can't. But it was too big to really leave out. Now, usually at number 10 spot, I put something that I found generally interesting, that I like the most, and this is no exception. Helldivers 2 is a third-person shooter that instead of doing missions like Conquest or team deathmatches like in Battlefield or Call of Duty, this game puts you in a galactic military campaign. And it turns out that it's what every gamer needed. In Helldivers 2, you can fight against automatons or terminids, or even the new and puny Illuminates who are nothing but alien scum. And remember that democracy and liberty are absolutely necessary to win against all foes against Super Earth. But, of course, this game isn't perfect. For a long time, Helldivers have been having multiple issues when it comes to the game's bugs, and also balancing their weapons damage and such. And also Sony being Sony, making a wedge in the fanbase because of a PSN requirement. That was resolved when the Luminates attacked. So overall, it had a pretty complicated history this year, but goddamn is it a great game. So if you love liberty and democracy, then get ready to dive, Helldiver. But anyways, that's all the time I have for this year. I just want to say, before this year ends, that I apologize for the lack of uploads this year. Lots of things happened to me that really took me away from my upload schedule. So hopefully next year will be better. But anyways, this is Mr. Doge, and I will see you all in 2025.